everyone, and welcome to this edition of ESH News with me and my distinguished guest. Hello, Tridi, Stefan, how are you?
I'm outstanding as usual. Hi.
Good. I actually learned to know you in the last couple of weeks, and I think that I personally, whether or not you are a guest in this show or whatever, I feel personally that I gained a close friend in the last weeks, and with all our conversations, and we saw that we are pretty much in the same tune with everything revolving truth, flat Earth, things which are trying to hit from us nowadays. And I'm really happy that you got the time to join us to here on Nesh News. And I hope that we'll have a wonderful show. How are you today?
Yeah, nearly perfect. I
No.
have some headaches lately, but I go to the chiropractor, and every day I go there, it gets better.
Okay.
I do my own healing stuff through dancing,
Mm-hmm.
and otherwise perfect.
Perfect. Okay, good.
Much better than most of the world lately.
All right, good. We're here to talk about lots of interesting things, but mainly the thing that I kind of like noticed that you are like I know the expert to it, some kind of someone that can teach us about a thing or two about all kinds of personal issues that flat earthers have, the truthers have in their everyday life, which is the topic that is relevant, which is always relevant, and I think nowadays is even more relevant because the differences between the truthers and the people who are, I guess, not truthers. I don't want to call them, sheeple or whatever. But these people the differences are getting wider and wider, and the truthers are getting more distant from the consensus, and that can bring up all kinds of feelings and emotions. And I want us to a little bit of research that on this show. And besides that, we're gonna talk about what's going on with the COVID crisis, how's things going on in Germany, and Mandela effect, and if we have time, of course, we can pop up any conspiracy and try to talk about it, of course. So first of all, I want to introduce to our viewers 3D Stefan and what he's been doing for the last years or so. I want to introduce it. I guess that Stefan will. So tell us a little bit, Stefan, about your introduction with the Truthers World, with Flat Earth. How did that came along in your life?
Hmm. Yeah, where's the starting point? Yeah. When I was born, I was still very young. Mm. But yeah, um, I felt strange all my life. I never felt normal or something like that. Kindergarten, school, it was all the time. It was strange. Nowadays, I know why. Because somebody invented YouTube, and then I started watching YouTube movies. Uh, TV I don't watch since the 90s. Somewhat. I moved out from my parents' house 1969, I think, and from then on I had no TV anymore. In the beginning I had no money. Later I didn't want to. So, and you don't need it in any way after 10 years. It's really funny. But I always had a computer. I love computers since I'm a kid. I don't know why, but I had a C64, and yeah, I
The
watched in
Commodore,
awe.
the Commodore,
Yeah,
Commodore.
Commodore.
Yeah, I remember that. I played that.
It was my first computer with 14, and in the beginning, or often, I just watch the cursor in awe how he blinks, because you can type in stuff. It's not a TV, which is only coming stuff outside, and the only thing you can do is you switch the channels uh, back and forth. It's in every channel the same bullshit. Can I say stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course.
Yep.
We encourage.
And and in the computer you can do something. And so I had mostly a computer and started internet stuff very early and started to watch as soon as there were some videos on YouTube. Started to watch them always the most crazy stuff. I had a rule, always to click on the most crazy thumbnail with the most, what is that? And I clicked on it. And that led me to everything what is out there in the world. I think the best information in YouTube was between 2014 and 16. Pre-complete censorship and deleting and killing channels and all that stuff. There was a variety of ultra interesting videos about any topic. You can learn. This is the normies. They miss that. Some people sometimes ask questions: is there parallel universes or something like that? But it's even here. In this world, there are parallel worlds uh, which are so big. You just have to imagine. Some people nowadays, from the normies, they think that YouTube is some things for cat videos, fun stuff, and gamer videos for kids. Uh, they don't know that you can learn anything in YouTube. You can learn some 3D rendering stuff. You can learn drawing. You can learn mountain climbing and whatever. It's the biggest university in the world. And many people don't even know that exists. A complete other world. And yeah, I was
I want
moving.
to stop for a second about talking about computers and what is it, the difference between computers and television. I think it's got to do with with the difference between two terms that is kind of like relevant whenever we talk about flat Earth, which is the two terms is science and technology. Okay, now
Hmm.
whenever I have a debate with all kinds of like lobbies, so I usually have this claim of, oh, you are a hypocrite, you are like talking against science, but you're using all these computers and all these things over here which are scientific, and so you're a hypocrite. You are like using science, but you're claiming against it. And then I'm like usually claiming that. We have to separate between these two terms, between science and technology. Science
Absolutely.
is, I guess, it's a reflection of reality. It's someone that it's an information, a language, okay? While
A
technology,
religion.
yeah, a religion,
Mm.
yeah.
But
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 the first scientist observes something and makes a table. The next one only copies the table, and then they copy, and only interpret it until we are completely in fantasy land, which has nothing to do with the reality anymore,
yeah.
and it's only scientism. So it's more religion and make believe and hearsay than anything else.
Yeah, and
Mm.
technology on the counter side, technology is real. It's like part of
Yeah,
reality, is a part of what we create. Okay, it's the creation of man, technology, and this is the actual object that was made up by man in order to promote him, in order to advance his life. So I guess the
yeah,
confusion between these two terms is the delusion that we all live in, okay? And it goes also like from nowadays in the medical side, okay? You have like the confusion between symptoms of
same
disease
thing.
and the name of the disease, okay? It's not the same thing,
Mm.
okay? The name of the disease is just, you know, a scientific name, okay, of the scientific language, and the symptoms is the actual pain you feel or the actual problems that you have. So this kind of like
Yeah,
different.
we are even so far in the post-fact era
Mm-hmm.
that you don't even need symptoms anymore,
Hmm.
and you still have an illness.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
no symptoms, but yeah, you
Uh,
have the COVID.
yeah, this is how
Yeah,
they fool us time and time
uh,
again. And I
yeah,
think, and I think that one other kind of like invention that they sold us throughout the years, that there is something like that which is called coincidence, okay, or laws of nature, or things which are like
uh,
happening. Oh, just because it happens like that, okay, this is the rule or whatever. And on the counter side, we truthers know that I think the basics of all things which are related to flat Earth or any kind of like questioning about science, starting with this basic question of if there is a coincidence in life or not. Okay, because if there is coincidence in life, I think that science maybe can be existed or whatever. But if there isn't any coincidence in life, okay, so this is So you know that everything is becoming outside of like a reason. There is a reason that something is created, something is built, and there is a
Mm.
reason that we were created by God Himself. So I guess to that statement that I just gave, how can you relate in your truther's path?
Yeah. First thing,
Mm-hmm.
technology has two sides.
Mm-hmm.
You can use it for bad stuff and you can use it for good stuff. But if you have a hammer, you can build a house with a hammer, or you can beat to death as much people as you want with the hammer until they stop you. Mm.
Okay.
And this is like magic, the same thing too. You
Mhm.
can use magic for good stuff and you can use it for bad stuff. But it's not the magic which is to blame, or the technology which is to blame. It's the people that use them,
Mhm.
that use it, or the the, the technical appliances.
Yeah.
Sometimes technical appliances are really not really usable as a guillotine or some really evil guns.
Mhm.
If you have a gun to hunt, that you have something to eat, that is okay. But I don't think that you need a tank to hunt or something like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, these are extremities of stuff. Uh,
Okay.
and perhaps you can even use the tank for good stuff if you have to level some meadow to build a house, and you can just drive the tank back and forth, or you can pull out cars off a river with a tank. Uh, it's usable, but yeah,
Okay. It's all
you
about
have
the
to
way that
decide,
you use it.
and what you decide is mostly here in the heart. You just have to listen to that, and you will know if you use it for good or for bad. In that case, you cannot say, "Oh, I didn't know." So you have to live in a conscious world and not daydreaming, just stumbling by like a sheep, doing everything what the TV tells you.
Mhm.
The little propaganda box,
Okay.
hypnotized box.
Tell me, Stefan. I want to get back to
Yeah.
your personal journey, and tell me a little bit about after you watch those YouTube videos and kind of like learn what flat Earth is all about, and kind of like I don't know, fitted that to your reality. Tell us a little bit. How did you felt? Like, what was the feeling? How do you describe your flat Earth honeymoon or something like that? What kind of like feelings? It kind of like emotions, whatever it popped up in your soul.
Yeah. Yeah. Seen from now, it was one of the most important moments in my life.
Hmm.
In the beginning, it was just interesting. I saw flat Earth videos in YouTube some weeks, probably even months. I never hated it or something like that. I had a lot of conspiracies already. I knew most of them. But the flat Earth videos first, flat Earth, come on, must be a prank. But some days I didn't have the most craziest video was one of these. And so I clicked on it. I don't know what it was. If it was Mark Sargent, it was some nameless video that started with, I think there is no curve and we can see too far and stuff like that. And yeah, I was immediately hooked because that was the, when you watch conspiracy videos, you feel after a while, get the feeling if that guy has a complete, which is mostly not the case. You just are not ready for it because if somebody takes the task and makes a YouTube video, that is a lot of work. So normally there is something to it. And in that special case of flat Earth, it resonated as fuck. I nearly said, "What is that? That really sounds that what?" And so I started immediately to do tests in my room. Uh, I did some cigarette boxes and lined them up because of, I wanted to see the perspective thing, how they get smaller and stuff like that. And my girlfriend came in and what are you doing? Yeah, I have flat Earth video. I think the Earth is flat. And then yeah, she thought now he's gone completely crazy, completely gone. But then she directly, because we are in real love and not just doing it for the show. she likes me, and so she went to her laptop and found immediately Brian Moulin. You probably know him. Uh, and that was the time when Brian Moulin, 2015, summer 2015, autumn, when he was uploading his complete journey. So we made our journey with the new videos from Brian Moulin. And 2 weeks later, she posted stuff over on Flat Earth before me on Facebook. I warned her. They will kill you. Don't post it. But she wanted to. And yeah, they killed her. She lost a lot of friends immediately. But yeah, after 2 or 3 weeks, I was quite a flat earther, and then I went to the Schauinsland. This means in English, look into the land. This is the name of the mountain. So it fitted. We went up there and saw from there, we saw Mont Blanc, which is the biggest mountain in the Swiss Alps. It's 4,000, nearly 5,000 meters high, and we saw it. And that is a strange thing. I think could be Mandela. I don't know. I'm a German and do it really, really precise what I do. So I went home, measured the distance to Mont Blanc, which was over 400 kilometers. Nowadays, if you measure it, it's only 200 somewhat kilometers, which is kind of strange. But yeah, in the end, now when you measure it, it's 220 kilometers or something. And 220 kilometers is still enough that you wouldn't see much, even if something of that mountain. And the mountain was completely visible with isolation. I don't know. Do you know what isolation means?
Isolation. Oh, like with filters or something?
No. It's if mountains are in front of the mountain, there is only a certain height you can see of the actual mountain you're looking at, because there's a mountain before that, and that is called isolation, because it's only the one mountain to see in the end, and you could see the complete isolation and the mountain in front of it, and you could see it, and Mont Blanc, and then we went home. I checked that with all the measurements on the internet, and yeah. Soon later, I was a complete flat earther, and yeah, it was like an explosion, because I was so happy to have found out something so important. I know now where I live, where I walk on. It's completely different than they told me. I was completely hyped and wanted to tell everybody, "Hey, yeah, guys, you know what I found out?" The problem is they didn't like it at all. At all. Most people got angry, and I lost most of my friends in Facebook everywhere. Everywhere. I hadn't much social contact in that days in my hometown, because I was always in hotels, because I was on montage on fairs, on big fairs all over Europe. So I was living mostly in the hotel, so often that I didn't find the light switches in my own apartment anymore. So I didn't have much contact to my Freiburg people, which were from the techno scene from the earlier days, but they were all on Facebook, and I lost them all. Nowadays, I don't even talk to my brothers anymore, because it makes no sense. These are like a different kind of animal or race, or I don't know how to say. They are not like us.
I think that there is something a little bit nostalgic in the moment that you discover flat Earth, because it kind of like brings you back to all kinds of like questions that you used to ask as a child and didn't get an answer that kind of like satisfy you with logic, okay? And all kinds of like very basic questions about, you know, the speeds of stars that they keep teaching you about, how in Australia they don't see things like upside down, or all kinds of like very basic questions that you kind of like think that you know, people already covered them, and then you return to your childhood somewhere when you ask those questions, and when you didn't get an answer, you kind of like you know, put them under the blanket or under the carpet for a while, and once you like getting
Or
back,
or you
sorry,
or you didn't understand it,
yeah,
understand at all.
yeah,
There was only hell. It was something strange, but then you look back and see, this is why this was so strange. And yeah, the father of my girlfriend was in the army, and he once told her, because he knew when she was young, and by the way, it's flat, but shh. and she was 10 or 11, 12. She didn't understand, but now, oh my God, my father told me. Her father was a cool guy anyway. So, yeah,
I
and
try as a good father to put on the Glitzon map in my living room so my children will be educated well. Not like with sounds. So
yeah,
once you got
yeah,
like
that is
a
really important. That is absolutely the best you can have. Imagine you would have known that the Earth is flat with 10, where you would be now. Uh, it's more difficult in other parts of life, but you have to be brave then. And I think when the children in school fight for their own things, and even that we don't believe, we know the Earth is flat. And if you teach this to your kids in the proper way, they will know and not believe. So they will be superior to 20 people around them in the school because they don't have any argument and they have. So this can be for kids very empowering and teach them a nice lesson in life how to stand your ground and grow a nice backbone and some balls if it's a boy.
Yeah, I remember just a week ago we had I was checking out on my son and he had a Zoom class with his teacher and over there we had also like the Israeli Space Week, okay? We have an Israeli Space Week, which have all kinds of like lectures or whatever. So and they brought it
Uh,
into the education system. And over there, like in this class, this teacher is teaching them about, the moon landing and about the heliocentric model and all of that. And I'm like, I couldn't hardly stop myself, and I kind of like barged into the conversation, and I kind of like whispered to my son to ask all kind of like, embarrassing questions to his teacher, like. Oh, if they managed to get there like 50 years ago, how come they couldn't do that today? To send people over there, and how come we don't have like freaking hotels on the moon over there nowadays? Okay, all kinds of like basic questions like that, and they said that back then they had more money. Okay.
yeah, they had not they had not enough bakshish, the normal reason for sure.
Yeah.
I think NASA gets 60 million a day, but they don't have enough money.
Yeah.
This is yeah,
Anyways,
absolute
so
resonates immediately. Mm.
let's go a little bit further, and I want to get on to the main topic of this. The reason that I kind of like invited you to this show about you told us earlier that you kind of like find yourself very comfortable inside the flat Earth and flat Earth like, world, but on top of that. I think it was also like a social journey, okay, on top of like a consciousness journey, a truth journey. It was also like a social journey, at least in my perspective for me. I got into the conclusion that in the last 2 or 3 years that I'm involved with that, I got like really good friends all over the world that are that have this attraction to one another, okay, and
Mm.
on that aspect I think that you saw this phenomena of people who are like to gather together to talk about flat earth and about truth, and you did some kind of like steps and things that are contributing to this goal. Am I correct?
Somewhat correct.
Yeah.
I didn't do any steps. It all happened organically. Just it happened. Because it's if you see a problem, and you tackle it, it's just natural. You just do what has to be done. And it's for me, it's one of the most important topics overall. It's even it's not the flat Earth is very important, but it's even more important to have the right social connections to the people in this realm. Because if you would be completely alone, it would make no sense at all. You then you are in the spirit world, and there is only one God, one conscious. You know everything. That is boring anyway. This is why you probably come here to take a holiday of knowing everything, and that is where the ego comes into place, where you come into place. And if you would experience it completely alone, that would be so boring. I cannot even imagine. Because you can't tell anybody if you make art or anything, you cannot show to anybody. What sense would it make? You just survive for nothing. And yeah, that is one of the biggest agendas that the elite has, to divide in every aspect of life. First, they divided communities, then they divided the family, and nowadays they divide even to single persons. That everybody is completely socially isolated. Don't talk, don't smile, don't do anything. Wear a mask. And the even more um, reason for that, or what is even worse, is if you are a flat earther. We know social distancing since we were flat earthers. I'm a flat earther since 2015, and yeah, the people, they smell it. You don't even have to talk much about it. They smell that you are different. They see. Sometimes there are people you didn't even spoke a word to them, and they hate you because they somehow feel they see the energy in your eyes that you are a free thinker,
Yeah.
and they don't like it because they want to be sheep, they want to be slaves, they want to follow orders because they are made indoctrinated so lazy that they cannot imagine to do something out of their own energy, or that they create something on their own and don't even know that what really brings you fun in life and happiness. But there are the others, that others that are in one village is one, in a city, in the other city is another one, but they are alone. They sit there, and in the first years you sit there, and first you like it, then you see that nobody else likes it, and then you are quite, yeah, like Robinson Crusoe on your island, sitting at the fire and waiting for something to happen. The next, you tell, then the postman comes in. You tell him the earth is flat. He shakes his head and goes away. And yeah, it's it's kind of disheartening. Many people start to stumble then and say, should I just go back, or don't even talk about it? So they are flat earthers and live some lie. They are in their normal social life, never talk about it, talk about bullshit, the weather and soccer. They want to tell them, but it's not possible because they don't believe, and they would make fun of them. And you lose your job. When you are at a job, you cannot talk about that stuff. I realized that through people later, because I started to say that I don't work for the system anymore, but that was 2015. So since I'm a flat earther, I don't work for the system anymore anyway and do only my art. So I don't even know how it is to tackle some work colleagues. That's because if nowadays, if you tell in a company where 100 workers, you tell one, they all have mobile phones and a computer. The information spreads like a wildfire, and 10 minutes later, everybody knows that you are the crazy guy. And a week later, you are fired, or you are only the idiot after that. And so these people are really some kind of completely isolated. And yeah, 2017, I first installed Discord on my computer. First, I didn't use it much. Then I found somehow the Globebuster server, but it's not very populated there and not much chatting. But someday there was a Karen B show somewhere, and she shared her Discord invite, and I joined that server, and that was the beginning of the real journey. Because then I found out that all over the world are many people like me, and I was in that server for days, talking to people. I couldn't believe it. That was the opposite. You talk to somebody you never heard before, and there was immediate mutual understanding. This, and conspiracy there, and yes, and this, and this, and we had so much fun. And there was another server then, Global. It was made because of the Global tour of the European. They had this bus driving around, and I was there too. And there were always these new people. They came from somewhere. You had to find them in Facebook or in some YouTube stream, and I don't know if you are quite emphatic. You feel when they type stuff in the YouTube chat, you feel you really see how lonely they are. And hey, what about, hey, do you know what this is? Come to our server. There was one guy, he was from Australia, and he was a bit older, I think 57 or something, and he was not that computer savvy at all. he didn't make it on Discord at all. So I connected with him on Facebook, and I tried to explain him. It took me 10 minutes to explain him that he has to click on that cross to close that window. 10 minutes. I said, and then please film your screen. Then I can tell you what to do. And he was so nervous that he always filmed over the screen, and I only saw his bookshelf. That didn't help much. But after an hour, I got him onto Discord, and then he came into the voice chat and he's ultra funny, ultra intelligent guy. That guy is awesome. And yeah, we had fun. And I think for weeks he thanked me. Hey, thank you that you brought me on that server. And oh man, and I still have perfect contact with him. He's not that Discord guy anymore. He's not that computer savvy. He likes it easy when it comes to computer, so it's always on Facebook. But through that time he was on that server, he completely his complete thing, his complete life changed from a really sad person into a happy person. And now he fights in Australia. He's from Adelaide. He fights against the COVID and court cases, helps people, and is completely active. I chat with him these days once a week in Facebook, and if he says nothing, then nothing is wrong, so everything is good. You don't have to talk to everybody every day, but he's there. And there are so many people. So many.
Tell me, Stefan, yeah, you kind of like mentioned all kind of like difficult moments that we roofers can be encountered in our everyday life, and just to give you an example over here in Israel nowadays, lots of people are like referring over the news and also like calling the police to be involved with stopping fake news with everything related to the vaccines and all kinds of other things. And in these kind of like difficult moments, I think that even the most hardcore truthers are telling to themselves, "Oh, why do I need this thing to be involved with that? Okay, it kind of like it caused troubles to my life, and I don't want people to follow me and the police and everything." You have this saying that if you go flat, you can never go back. But there are all kinds of like hard realities that kind of like makes it difficult for you to perform in any way that you picked for yourself in flat Earth. So in these difficult moments, okay, what you have to say to a person like that have these questions and doubts in his head that can help him.
Yeah, to put it into one sentence: never give up, never give up, because there is a goal, and it will pay off someday, even if it's not in this life. Your soul is immortal. I would say death is a hoax anyway. The body is just like a car. You throw it away someday, buy another one. I plan not to come back that soon. 2-3 million years I will take off, because this life was a little bit annoying sometimes. But in the same time, the more annoying the world is, the more awesome stuff happens on the other side, because it's always a sinus wave. You have if it's really deep, it will go really far up too. This is connected. So if you have really bad experience, you will have someday really good experience. So the bad experience is even important, that you learn something. It's even said in the prayer of God. I don't know how it's called. The normal prayer everybody says, and lead me through temptation. The new version, or the version they use officially, is and not lead me into temptation. But that makes no sense at all. What do you learn when you are not tempted? Then it makes no sense. You have to be tempted and go through that stuff. And if you made it, then you have learned something and will be stronger. Your spirit will be stronger. And if you don't learn anything in this life, in best case, you just have to do it again. And that is annoying. So
and come back as a snail or something, right?
No, not even that. You come back as the same person, but on the exact same level, and you have to do that everything again until you understood and level up. And if you didn't, it's annoying. You'd have to do it over and over again. And yeah, what's insanity? Doing the same thing over again, accepting different outcomes, which is insane. But in that case, don't give up. It will pay out. That is the most important thing. And I know there are these days which are even worse than the others. When you really sit there, when I have headaches and yeah, three trolls on Facebook told you that you are a complete stupid idiot and whatever, then you sit there and say, no, I can't. And this is where this unity and this community stuff comes into play. Then I go to Discord and talk to my people. Once I was in Facebook and a friend of mine, he insulted me really badly. I knew him for 20 years. I was in school with him. He was a really cool guy. And back in the day, he was the intelligent guy. And I insulted his holy Einstein and whatever. And he was even too lazy to look up the laws of thermodynamics. I had to bring the stuff up. And he insulted me badly, and I'm an idiot. And that was his argument. None, only name calling and triggered and fuck. And I was completely down because I knew that guy so long. And I came into the server, jumped into the room, and there was another guy, Dawn. And he immediately understood, you were on Facebook and had an encounter, right? And he said 2 or 3 sentences to me, and I was good because I had somebody who understood, and that is really important. That you have somebody that understands you in that moment. You cannot do it alone. You cannot get off that stuff. You can get off it alone, but it's so hard to do, and you don't even have any energy left on that day anyway. So you will not make it alone because your energy potential is just low. And so you need somebody who borrows you some energy that you can give back on another day. And that is other important. And I like fun. I like to have fun and communicate to people. I always had, when I go to a party, I know everybody 5 minutes later because I talk to any, and I'm interested in most stuff. I always tell people I'm a very boring guy. I'm interested in, I do the same thing every day. I'm interested in everything. So if something is I never heard of, oh, what is that? I never heard of it, and I will immediately research it and take some interest for it, and so I will know something about it. So if I meet somebody new, I normally find a topic to talk with him because I'm interested in anything. If I don't have anything to talk about with him, then I ask him what he does, and then I will have some new stuff which is input. And in this flat earther stuff, it's really more interesting because all these flat earthers, they are all over the top intelligent normally and always had an interesting life. So
Yeah,
alone
and
listen.
always creative in some
Yes,
sense.
absolutely. There are musicians, writers, artists in all kind, and then if they have something technical, they are really good in that. And you can unite and do something new out of it. And yeah, for example, I was on Discord. There were people in there, and there were 20 people in the voice chat. But these people were all cool. We don't make fun of these people because we know we were the same. And so they start. Sometimes there are two types. The one type is oh, I found people, and immediately starts to talk and yeah. That is the normal guy who doesn't need much help anyway because he's just happy to be here. But there are these really shy people. In the beginning, they say nothing, and they are still afraid that we make fun of him because of that stuff, because he's so used to it and doesn't come out. But there is then that moment where it explodes, and then they start to talk, and they will not stop for 10 hours and will tell their whole story. And yeah, that is the point where you have to be really interested and listen to them. That is the only thing you have to do. You have to listen. And I remember 4 weeks later what that guy told me because I was interested in that story. And if you tell them this, he will be happy. And this is not because I want something out of it. I get enough because if I realize that guy is happy afterwards, I will be happy too. So this is the only thing which multiplied when shared. Joy, love, and happiness.
Yeah, and
This
can be duplicated.
actually with the fish, I don't know what that means because fish don't multiply, but joy and stuff like that, it works perfect for that. If you are filled with joy, give a little bit of your joy, the other one, it will multiply in his body, and it's even healthy. Laughing is healthy. Feeling happy is healthy. Feeling fresh love in your stomach is healthy. And there were people that they said afterwards, I just told stories I never told anybody before. Uh, and that makes me really proud. In the end, I got a new role on the servers. I was in the beginning. It was a field of priest. Uh, they call it a nickname, but yeah, some kind of spirit guide is. I don't like normal priests from the Catholic Church or
Of
something
course.
like that, but a real tribe spirit guide is as important as the guy who leads the tribe. I realized more and more because it keeps the tribe sane and healthy. Because one is always out of his mind and has a bad morning and has to scream at somebody, beat an enemy badly because he has to get some hate out of him. Can even do that. Scream at me for 10 minutes if it helps. Mm.
Mhm. Okay. Anyways, I think that we go for a short break over here. But
Hmm.
beforehand, I think that we were gonna play one of your creations during the break, just
Oh no.
just to educate our viewers over here. What do you do, like artistic side? You said that all the flat earthers are really creative, and I know that you have a creative side in you. So tell us a little bit about what do you do in your creative mode to that is being inspired from flat Earth or whatever.
Yeah, I tackle that as usual. I'm interested in any kind of art in existence.
Mm-hmm.
I like text, so I nowadays I like poems a lot because you can put a lot of information into short poems. I did. I come from the techno scene, psytrance. I was a DJ and live act back in the days. For 5 years, I did nothing else than music. Nothing else. Once I made music for 3 days in a row. Somebody called on the phone and I couldn't speak because my voice was because I didn't say a word for 3 days. Uh, and yeah, that I did a long time. But strangely enough, when I was able to make music kind of professionally, I lost interest because if I know anything about everything about something, I move on to the next thing that I don't know. Right? It's always more interesting to learn new stuff than to do the same old stuff you did already before. And so I paint pictures, I do 3D animations, a lot of graphic stuff, and I even like coding because I like computers. And the good thing is you can do it all on your computer, all at once nowadays. A computer for me, is the computer not at all an evil thing. Even if www means 666 and whatsoever, the web is a spider's web, and they try to use it as the propaganda machine, like because radio was invented for propaganda. So
Yeah.
the prime minister didn't have to travel around and to do his speeches. He could just do it through the radio. And then TV came, was a complete propaganda instrument. But computer, you can do an input. And so the exchange is there. And I think they even underestimated us. They didn't think that we get that far. I don't know if there were many resets in this world and we always get that far, but it feels like we are in a special phase, like James Drew, for example, says. This is the best apocalypse ever because this time we kick your asses. And yeah, but I
Good.
still like making music.
Okay, cool. So
But
we'll hear some music and we'll get back and talk about the apocalypse. It will be most interesting.
mhm.
again, and welcome back to our show with 3D Stefan. And I think that in the first segment of the show, we talked about flat Earth and about truthers' word and psychology and mentality or whatever. And I think that we should progress a little bit to our current days, and I think that this year we got a big twist of events with the whole truthers community, and that relates, of course, to the COVID crisis that kind of like popped up all over the world, all over our flat Earth, and. The people, I kind of like noticed that the people that were like involved with flat Earth during the last years, they all switch on talking about the COVID because it's kind of like I think it's from two reasons. First of all, it's like the most I know relevant topic over there over the news or whatever, and the second reason is that because we are like witnessing, I think, a rerun or something like which kind of like very similar to the globe lie that we've been encountered throughout all those years. Mainly, I guess, in my perspective, it's the whole mind control. Okay, the whole mind control, the whole perception that. First off, they try to tell us that we're living on a spinning ball, and now they're trying to I don't know to treat the human being as I know a bag of diseases and viruses and as something which kind of like hurts the environment. The human being himself is something which is hurts other people and all kinds of like nasty and devilish thoughts like that they try to input our mind. So tell me you first of all, Stefan, how did that crisis kind of like got you with first of all with the opinion, with the observation on this one as a truther, and tell us a little bit about we'll talk a little about later on about Germany and how it rolled up over there.
Yeah. Yeah, there was once upon a time there was a bat coming out of the cave. Somebody ate it and got the COVID. The patient zero
Boo boo boo
in
boo boo boo
China.
boo. Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't believe it from the start. Not the first time. First it was really funny, and then it got annoying because I never I never experienced something like that worldwide. They shut down the world in a split second.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's even a complete rerun. 100 years ago, 1918 to 20, there was what was it, the swine flu or
Yeah,
the Spanish flu?
Spanish flu, yeah.
The Spanish flu was 1918, and in 1818 there was another pandemic. So it's every 100 years they always play the same game, and it's always the same to sell vaccines. In the 1918 pandemic, nobody died. It was the same. And then they spread some medication. I think they invented aspirin and stuff like that there. And that is really poisonous, that stuff. I saw a meme about that. When you have headaches and you take too much aspirin, like 13 or something like that, that was the last headache you ever had. And gone. And you do it better another way. And yeah, what can I say? This is a deception on a level a normal guy which thinks in a normal way cannot comprehend, because these people, the normal people, they are hypnotized by the TV, and hypnosis is really strong. If you hypnotize somebody and say you are naked now, they will think they are naked. And if they say your hand is a gun now and you can shoot people with that gun, and they tell the other hypnotized that if he shoots with his hand they will die, they will fall, and they will think they killed somebody. And that is how strong that stuff is. That is our enemy. A mind war, a war deep inside our minds without weapons. It's only with words and memes. And the outcome we will see.
I think
predict of the vaccine, because they still don't want to hear. There are so many videos out there of people doing the new dance The COVID vaccine has its own dance now, the COVID shuffle.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh my
and there are
god.
so many videos of these people, but these videos are not shown in the mainstream, in the mainstream media. You only find them on YouTube or somewhere in the web. And if you show it to people, they don't even believe it. There was this one nurse. She's a nurse, has the COVID shuffle since days, and says she still believes strongly in vaccines. Uh, how would you help somebody that she now goes to the neurological institute because they want to find the problem she has in the brain, because that is probably the cause of her twitchings. It can't be that it is the vaccine. If people believe stuff like that, I don't even want to help these people. I don't need meat robots. These people annoy me since 10 years anyway. I was conspiracy in 2012, 13, 14. You try to tell these people, they always roll their eyes, laugh about you. Yeah, I, I have a high compassion for these lonely flat Earth people because they are on our side, and then on the other side, I can be really rude to these people because they who doesn't want to hear has to feel. And we will see how it works out. It's not easy. I never wear a mask anywhere. Problem is I don't go out much. If I go out, it's always welcome to the twilight zone.
So what's been
Morning,
going on in
morning,
Germany since this
morning.
crisis started? What's been going on in Germany? Like, how do you describe the way that the government, Angela Merkel, how the public kind of like reacted to that? Because I remember like a few months ago there were like a big rallies in Berlin, in Germany, all over the places versus this COVID lie. Tell me a little bit about how's the relationship between let's say not relationship, let's say the war
Yeah.
between the government and its people has been progressing in the last year in Germany.
There was one big protest in Berlin. There were, I think, more than 1 million people there, like Love Parade. In the TV, they said it was 18,000 or something like that. Complete unimaginable. They don't they don't blush because of anything. They lie when they talk. And yeah, these guys who organized that stuff were kind of nice. But yeah, this is a level. They are so diet woke. They know that COVID is kind of hoax. 1/3 of the people on the protests still have masks on. These idiots and protest against it. Yeah, they don't know anything about flat Earth. These people who think they are really woke and against the COVID stuff, and so I say two sentences and they will roll their eyes. They are compared to the people of us who are in everything of what is about truth. They are not even on level one.
Yeah, I will
They
tell
are
you how it got
good. And
manifested.
and 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 there is this movement of Rainer Fulnig, for example, and all these people that's lawyer, and they have a worldwide movement now and want to sue these people, but I don't have much hopes in them. For me, they are just clowns. They don't know anything and do some YouTube videos, talk around and nothing happens. In the end, the European court, or not even court, the European I think that these people who are big in Europe, they now said something about COVID, and that it's not evil and the mask has to go away and so on. But they don't have any power anyway. They are like the Bundesrat. There is the Bundestag and the Bundesrat, and the laws and all the stuff. Does the Bundestag and the Bundesrat is only some clowns. They can veto what they say, but the Bundestag doesn't have to. So these are just like the Bundespräsident, the president of Germany. He's just a representative clown. If he says something, everybody will hear it, but it has no impact because that guy has no power at all. And
I will tell
politicians
you.
don't have power anyway. And I don't know much about the political stuff because I don't watch news or any TV. And the most stuff I hear is about bullshit Trump and Biden and stuff like that because I mostly talk to English and American people and don't see much what is going on in Germany. But they are quite low anyway because the whole world only does what the CDC and all these health organizations say, and this is not even the politicians. The politicians just say, yes, they are right, and that's it. And there are then some clowns in the media who promote this COVID thing, and it's really dangerous, and you have to social distance and whatever. Like this morning, the post guy was here bringing in some little packet, and he was giving me it out of 3 meters away and had a mask on. I immediately said to him, "Put that mask out. It's not healthy." But he couldn't even talk German. Yeah, and
Okay. I'll tell you what,
what I
my
say,
greatest
I
criticism,
will never wear a
ju-
mask and never
just,
comply, even if it's my death. That I can say. I will fight to death against it. I'm not a clown. Whatever will happen. What will happen, I cannot tell. What Niels Bohr said, it's prediction is very difficult, especially about the future. So we just don't know. But they want, yeah, and the vaccine is really bad. The
yes.
vaccine is
I want
it
to
changed
talk a
your.
little bit about the politics within, and I will say that now in Israel we got like 4-time elections. There's election in another month or so for the fourth time in 2 years, and the thing is that with this whole COVID crisis, it seems that the real ruling, okay, is kind of like uncovered his face, okay, because
Mhm.
you can really see that it's never been a question of left and right and who's wrong, especially in Israel, which are like have very decisive opinions and everything like that. Because you can see that in the real great decisions that really affect our life, this is where they all are stated out into one narrative, okay, and that's now to kind of like publish and market this COVID crisis,
Mhm.
and that leads you also like to the vaccines that you mentioned, and the thing is that I was really pissed off. When you talked about the other factors that are like demonstrating nowadays, since this crisis started, there were like a bunch of people over here in Israel that started to demonstrate versus the prime minister. Okay,
Mhm.
calling him to go home because of his corruption and everything, and that took the whole
Netanyahu.
and
It
that
is
took the whole
Netanyahu.
thing into the political field. Okay, and they didn't really protest against the real lie, the real hoax that is going on. Okay, they kind of like just continued that as a political struggle. So I have a big criticism about those guys because they are kind of like
That is a real. That is a really important point, because it's the worst thing about politics and all that stuff is not that you have some borders at your country, or you are in a prison and there is a wall you cannot get out. These are borders you can see. The much more dangerous and evil borders are the borders you have in the mind you cannot see. Like this lake in front of you, this is poisoned, you cannot swim there, and nobody will swim there. But is it really poisoned? Nobody knows. And nobody will go there because they hide something in that lake. It's really bullshit analogy, but you get the concept.
yeah.
And that is the stuff they push, and in the end, it's all over complete control over the slave farms. A country is not a country; it's a slave farm. They don't want free people. A government is only. It's something like the guy who does the sheep flock. That is the government. They don't care about us sheep at all. They hope that our wool will be really expensive. That is everything, but they don't care about us in any way. And if it's the funny thing is it's all over the world the same place. When there is democracy, it's always two parties. What a coincidence! In a country where millions of people live, there are always only two parties which you can choose of, and this is the. Sharon always says that, and he's right. It's the every wing, the right or left wing. It's a wing of the same bird. It's the same. They will tell all the same. A German satire guy once said, "You can with voting. I don't vote at all for a long time, because it makes no sense. You give away your power if when you vote. In German, it's even called the Urne, which is the thing where the ash, when you are burned, to death, the ash comes in some ceramic thing. That is the urne. And the thing where you toss in your vote has the same name. So you bury your power in that thing. So I keep my voice because they say you have to vote, and can you complain? But they do the same shit all over again anyway. And that satire guy says there is a train, and you can vote and change the guy who is in the first in the train shipping in the coal.
Yeah.
But the train will not move the direction of or drive somewhere else. It's on its trail. So it's only the guy who is there. That is all. So it makes no sense at all. It's about complete control and keeping us in check and dumb. The bishop and the religion keeps us dumb, and the government keeps us poor. So that
Yeah.
we have no power at all. That has to be broken. And therefore, it doesn't do anything. Protests do nothing. You can hold up signs. What do? They laugh their asses off. In Paris, there was the Gilets Jaunes.
Yeah.
They did it for 50 weeks. I was really in that, and they were demonstrating. There was arms were shot completely off. They lost eyes because of the rubber thing, and with the water cannons and stuff like that. Everything was burning. And what did Macron? He went skiing somewhere in the Alps. So he was just laughing about it. You can hold up a sign. I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah, they laugh their asses off. That what you have to do is stop doing it. If nobody obeys the government will just not exist because nobody does what they say. But the normal people don't get it. And we need the government, otherwise we would have no roads. It makes no sense. It's like
No. They
like
start
the thing of
scaring you with anarchy and
where the
stuff.
vortex goes to left and right.
Yeah.
It makes no sense because
No,
we are those who roads, not the government.
yeah, no, they're always terrifying you with saying, "Oh, there will be anarchy right now. Okay, if there won't be any government, there will be anarchy.
I'm,
We don't know what to do. We will start
it's
killing each other."
ultra important.
Hmm?
Ultra important. Anarchy is one of the most misunderstood terms
Yeah.
in the world. Because what means anarchy? It means no ruler. Monarchy means one ruler. Oligarchy means ruler of the rich, some groups. But this is anarchy, no ruler. That doesn't mean that there are no rules. That only means there is no ruler. We can have rules and laws. There is natural law. I know exactly in my heart when I rape a child, I feel and I know this is not right. If I steal something, I know it is not right. I know that. I don't need laws for that. So if you follow natural law and live peacefully, then that is anarchy. That is what real anarchy means. They completely dragged it into the dirt and said anarchy is complete chaos. Everybody will kill anybody just because they are afraid. This is the same. This goes even on to love and peace. Love and peace is another psyop. They tell us so that we are softies and say, oh, it's good. That we never get rebellious thoughts or even say, fuck you, government. I do what I want. Fuck you. And that is exactly what I do. Just do not consent and live your life as if they weren't there. The more people that will do that, the less the government will have power over us and have even a handle. Mostly you don't even have to pay these fucking fees and all that stuff you get from the government. In Germany, for example, the government is completely illegal. Since the Second World War, we have some rules, laws that don't fly with anything which is about legality. So this is illegal. We are not even in peace. We have only a peace. We have no peace contract with the Allies. There is only a weapon stopping. It's a pause in the war. So we are not even a real country. So if they drag you into court, it's not even legal. So they don't have any real handle. The problem is the people believe it. It's like the same thing with the COVID fees. When you are somehow violating the COVID rules, then you have to pay 2,000 euros or whatever. And there is not even a law, but the people pay anyway. But you don't have to pay. You just have to write them a letter, say, no, I do not comply. There is no law. End of game. They will never call you because it's not possible. But fear. They use the strongest and heaviest weapon they have, fear.
Yeah,
And if you are afraid of them, they have, don't be afraid, and we will win. Mm.
You
Another,
mentioned earlier all kinds of peace relations between countries and things like that, and I don't think it's any kind of like relevant at all. It's like we said
no,
earlier about the technology and science. Okay, the science it's kind of like the peace agreement. Okay, it's kind of like the language that they kind of here to reflect what peace is. But this is just a piece of paper. Okay, this is like an
yeah, this is
agreement.
1984.
Yeah,
This is
and
1984.
and
Absolutely 101,
yeah,
because
and
every
I think
country,
that
every every
real peace, okay, real peace is going on between people, okay, between people themselves. And real peace is about collaboration. It's about relationship.
yeah,
It's about and what we're doing over here right now. So this is I think one step that I kind of like chose to take over here on Ash News, and this is like to connect between like the people themselves, okay, not in the political level, not in the peace signing agreement level, but with the people themselves, with the ideas and everything, and
yeah, that's it.
yeah,
The only way you need consent is in the lowest step of the pyramid, in the broadest, where all the people are. There you need consent because you have to live together. But you don't need consent with those up on that one stone. They are not even needed. But most people are so indoctrinated they forgot that. If they ever knew, I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not 5,000 years old,
I
but
think, yeah,
yeah. And you know what agorism is? Agorism?
no, no,
It's with A. Agorism. Agorism.
no,
It's
educate me.
anarchy and agorism combined is probably the way I want to go. Agorism means that you only use local stuff. If there is a neighbor, he is a painter, so or a carpenter, and he paints your walls. But you are good in car repairing, so you repair his car, and so on. And so you do it in the nearest vicinity around you. That is broadly what agorism is. So it's yeah, healthy exchange of natural tribes.
And it comes to
So you don't.
disconnect you from the government economy and system, this kind of like method.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That
Hmm.
is the goal. To live completely in autark communities where you don't even have to go there because you have all what you need in your agoristic and community connections. If I need some wheat, I call that guy. If I need food, I go to the farmer on the one side. The wine I get by that guy, and everything is out of an organic, self-made process. And we do the contract. I negotiate with the guy how much money I give him for the milk because he has the cows. And if I have a bad negotiation skill, I send my wife, and
Yeah.
then it gets better. And so you live a natural life. So government is the most redundant thing that this world has. One of them. There are many. Uh,
Yeah. Let's
70% of all jobs out there are meaning just to occupy the sheep.
Okay,
There's a
I
book.
think that we are done talking about evil governments. We talked about it for about 15, 20 minutes. I think that it's more than they actually deserve.
Uh,
So I guess we will go
that's
on to
it.
the next topic, and we're gonna keep on forward to the end of the show. But we want to mention one other thing that you are pretty much interested on, and this is the Mandela effect. Now, I used
Mm.
to have all kinds of guests, among them Brian from Dose of Reality, that is a really big expert on Mandela effect. And you also told me that you kind of like researched this thing, and I want just to bring it to a little bit of awareness because here in Israel, people are not really aware about this. I don't know to call it a conspiracy. No, I don't think you can call it a
Mm.
conspiracy. It's something way crazier
Not a
than that.
conspiracy.
It's way
Yeah.
crazier than
Perhaps,
that.
perhaps, perhaps even the word conspiracy changes over time.
Yeah,
We will
perhaps.
see at the S
It
meeting
got a different
somewhere.
meaning, of course, like they did to anarchy. Okay,
Yeah.
they made it to a deceitful, lying people. Okay, this
Yeah,
is
but
what
that
nowadays
that
they
is
call it fake news. Okay, conspiracies,
that
but
is not. that is not supernatural or any organic or anything effect that is completely hijacked by the government.
Yeah.
CIA, yeah, everybody knows the story of how CIA used the word conspiracy theorist since the JFK incident,
Yeah.
which is a Mandela effect in itself.
So tell us about the Mandela effect, if you can. Also, the
Yeah,
JFK is also related to that. I know there's a
the-
Mandela effect over there,
I
right?
think I think the Mandela effect is completely connected to everything what happens right now
Okay.
because many a very good friend of mine, Ace, he said then there is a reality, and reality is somewhat an illusion. We just see with our eyes. In our heads, it's completely dark, so normally we shouldn't even know what bright is. But our eyes, from our eyes on, it's just electrical signals. So yeah, it's a CGI world, just
Mm-hmm.
made by mind, and nothing is real anyway. So the less people are focused on that reality. This is like a network of computers. The less computers are in a network, the more fragile the network will become.
Yeah.
And the less people are interested even in this strange illusion, the more it will get strange occurrences because this is not enough RAM left or some glitches will occur.
Yeah.
And so the more people that wake up and don't pay any attention to that anymore, the stranger and weirder the world will get, and the people are waking up in a quite exponential curve. The
Yeah.
more people wake up, the more they will even wake up, and so I think that this is connected to the Mandela effect because some things happen then because it doesn't work anymore, and the reality tries with all its might to keep it going, but it doesn't work, and so glitches occur because
Glitches.
it's on full, it's on full blast. There is not more in it. There is not more power there,
Mm-hmm.
but they would need more, and so it's all in the red things. And
I think
the, the,
that.
really, the really strange stuff about Mandela is that is a really personal thing, and that is the most dangerous and the most difficult thing about the Mandela effect in itself. It's completely personal because some Mandela effects resonate with me. Other people say it's stupid. But there are other Mandela effects that doesn't resonate with me. But these other people say, "Oh man, blows my mind." This is because there are even some American movies I don't even know where something changed. I'm German.
Mm-hmm.
Then for example, Justin just asked, are there Mandela effects in the Torah, for example?
Yeah.
We know of none, but perhaps you know something, and so on. And everybody has a very personal effect, but it is what I know is there is something. It's really hard to hunt it down because logic and the Mandela effect are not good friends. They
No.
are enemies.
Yeah.
But it's not logic. It has nothing to do with logic. In the beginning, we thought, perhaps the CIA has a time machine, flies back, changes it while in the making. That would explain why, if there is a Bible change, that in my old Bible it changes too. If you have a video of Star Wars from back in the days, that old VHS cassette will have changed. So it's not some CIA agent coming in at night and changing your VHS cassette. It changes naturally,
Yeah.
and that is the most hard thing to swallow. Most
Yeah.
people get afraid of that because everything they have is already gone because flat Earth. Shit, what else did they lie about? And that they lied about anything.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the last thing they have, reality, and that is breaking apart too. They don't want to lose the reality and their home around them, and so they get afraid as hell. And these people are more triggered than flat Earth people back in the days. So it feels like a new loop of the same, of a rerun again. 2015, we fought about against Globies, and now I fight against flat earthers who deny the Mandela effect. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And they come up with the same stupid stuff like Globies, but are flat earth friends of us since 2 years or more. And, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that it's like the Mandela effect. It kind of like brings you to the harsh reality that our reality is not really existed. Okay, because the
yeah,
only way that you can possibly explain what Mandela effect is and how it works is by that the reality that we comprehend from our senses is just a projection. Okay,
A
it's
computer
not.
game.
Yeah, it's just a computer game because the only way that you can change it in that form is by updating something on the cloud or something like that
Basic.
that this whole
Yeah.
computer game will be updated simultaneously in its projections. So I guess that
Yeah,
to
like ESH News uploads a new logo or a new avatar, and then every computer will have that avatar from then on because you changed it. You
yeah.
changed the data behind the veil, behind the screen. The screen, what we see on the computer, is only what the computer wants us to show. There are so many things running in the background of the computer you don't even need to know, but it runs and it does things. And this way, some of these things, because we have a look behind the veil now anyway and want to know the truth and what are you really up to? Where is that guy? Who is that really a monster or is it only a guy talking to a microphone like in the Wizard of Oz? And this sprouts this stuff too. And it could be that it's even some mind war between the evil forces and God. That the evil forces change some stuff for their narrative to fit and God changed the other stuff because there is one thing. They found two new organs in the body
Yeah.
here. They are plum size, and you know for what they do, and they are new because we have computer tomography and we can make pictures of the body since they know what radioactive active stuff is. So some guy would have found it because they want to be famous. So they look for new stuff. So it would be clear since 50 years that, but they are not. They are just new. And you know what they do? They filter the air you breathe. So it could be from what a weapon against the mask that gives you a hard time to breathe proper
Yeah.
air. And this filters out these bacteria which you rebreathe through the mask. And that is really strange. That is really strange. It's like it's like the heart. The heart.
Yeah.
Every soccer player puts his hand here and sings the national anthem. Are they all dumb? Soccer players are not the brightest, but
Yeah.
are they all dumb? Everybody does it here. And the heart. I even watched it wander from here to here, and the newest pictures are dead center.
Yeah.
The heart is now dead center, and it is even interesting because were we in a dark time where everything was out of center? Because normally everything is mirrored. You have two arms, two legs, two kidneys. The lung is mirrored. Everything in the body is mirrored.
Yeah.
But the heart was somehow out of the middle, and
Yeah.
now it wanders back to them and is completely centered again.
I think
Could
that
be a good
I think that the
sign that
main
we are.
the main point
Yeah.
On the Mandela effect, the way that it kind of like shakes people, I think it's because it kind of like makes them lose their grip on something which is really important to them, and this is the control. Okay, the control. You think that you have some kind of like control on reality if you experienced it before. So you have some kind of like control on this reality, but you don't have no control because anyone can change it any given second. So
Absolutely.
this kind of like lack of control, I think this is what shakes
Yeah.
people, and you don't want to get into this territory and to expose how less control they have.
That is really good. I never thought about it that way. That is really cool. I learned something.
Good.
Um, and really cool is that it's about control.
Yeah.
So the reality shows you, and what is the most important thing what you have to learn in life? It's mostly not to learn how to ride a bike or something like that. There is other things you first don't see. And one of the most important things is to let go. If you have the best bicycle, the nicest you ever had, and then it breaks, or some guy loses his cat, and even worse stuff, you have to learn to let go of that stuff. That is really why, if you learn to let go, you are always happy. If you had an argument with somebody, you just, and then you are happy again. Or if you lost some money or whatever, then you lost it. And the more you do that, the more you get anyway. because you don't give a fuck anymore. So you will get exactly that, because when you need it, you are sucking. Yes, and then no, you will get nothing. But if you don't need it and you're just full, then you get. Um,
Okay.
and yeah,
Good.
and that's why the Mandela effect is probably a help to let go of this illusion, because many people, especially the hardcore deniers, they, they won't let go of that reality because this is all they have. If they would let go, it would help them. And the Mandela effect is even perhaps there to spiritually show them, hey guys, this is only a game. Easy peasy, don't try. Uh, perhaps,
Of course.
perhaps
Of course, maybe.
it
As,
makes
as
it.
we wrote up here, no worries. Anyways,
Mm,
so we've talked in this show about flat Earth and about the COVID and about the Mandela effect and all kinds of things which are now popping against our terrible reality that like conspiracies are trying to reflect the good side of it. Okay, the good side
yeah.
against the harsh reality. Now, if you can just give us a little bit of your optimistic view for the future, okay? The way that you are seeing the Truthers movement all over the world. How can you, tell us that this reality will be changed, according to their vision and according to their, and not go on the path that she's been walking on, the last year or so. Do you think there is a future for us, a good one?
There is no future,
There is no future.
because time doesn't exist.
Oh,
It's always now. Time is
yeah.
only an
No, of course,
illusion.
present is the
They,
only thing that
they,
that
they,
has
they
existed.
try to tell the normies that they always have to wish that someday they will have enough money to buy that car or that whatever.
Yeah.
But it's always in the future. They will never get there. It's like the politicians promise some stuff and it will never happen. This is the
Like
same thing. It's
NASA is
always in the
saying she's
future.
gonna go to
So,
Mars. Yeah.
and the most important thing is then in that say now, no, always now.
No.
If the police says on the street wear a mask to that, but no, and now,
No.
never ever again, because it feels much worse to get to get fucked in the ass afterwards. It takes much longer to get away with that. Even when they shoot you, fuck it, you will feel better. And for the truth people, we are on the winning side anyway. If you made it on your own to break the hypnosis of the globe Earth, we spoke about how mighty hypnosis is. Everybody who realizes that the Earth is flat and many other things, they broke on their own. They broke that spell of hypnosis and crawled out of it on their own. Everybody who did that is a legendary hero, a real one, not some bullshit Hollywood one, a
Celebrity or
real one.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, some guy who cannot even walk and needs a stunt double if he has to go to the bathroom. No, these are real life legendary heroes which live among us. Uh, those people who are really heroes are not known mostly anyway. But the best artists are unknown because you will only be a good artist when you do that bullshit elite stuff with the triangles and all that shit. If you don't do that, you will not be Metallica. So
Yeah.
there is probably a 10 times better Metallica who said, no, we don't do that. And this is the same with the flat earth people and all the truthers. You are the legendary hero. And we have already won. Uh, the rest is mm, feel fine. And
Yeah.
how bad it could get, and never forget that, and can always be good. The fun thing is, if you are brave, you will be rewarded by God. If you walk in there and say no, something good will come out of it very soon. The more brave you are, the more you will get good stuff back in no time. Because it's only fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. When it seems the situation is real dire and real bad, and I will probably die soon. Or even a better analogy is back in the days when I watched conspiracy videos, that moment when you think, oh God, what is that? What is that? I go crazy. I go crazy. I will go mad. But that is the moment when you think you go mad, that 5 minutes later it will make click and you learn something. So the moment before it gets really good will be the worst. It's like the moment before the sun comes up is the coldest. So yeah, suffer through and fuck 'em.
Yeah,
That's
fuck
it.
'em. Good. Okay, with these warm words and from this truth trooper, I think that we'll finish the show. But I will surely hosting you again sometime soon here on ESH News, dear Stefan Tridi, and it's been a lovely show, and I learned a lot on this show. And it was it had tons of fun. Hoping that you as well. Any last words for
Yeah,
our viewers here on ESH News?
yeah, this was very nice. A lot of fun. First, I thought, yeah, this is my first interview. I will be nervous as fuck. I think after hello, that was gone, because it's really, yeah, if you do really do what is in your heart, it will be always fun and interesting. I don't have to do this because I need money and I get the money for it. And no, I want to do this. It's fun. So yeah, anytime again, just call me.
Cool.
Mm.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Have a lovely evening. Love you here in Israel. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye. Okay.